Just applied some Gorilla Glue down in this area where the cabinet is loose. And let me go ahead and get a wet rag and get all the extra glue off before it dries. I think that will take care of it. I'll let this stay clamped for a period of time and then come back and start looking for more loose areas that need to be glued, and then start just using some basic wood filler and filling in some of the voids. I was looking at the cabinet closer. In this one area, I noticed a piece of veneer on the back side of the cabinet in this area. And I think this piece of veneer actually ran this whole backside perimeter as such. So a practical approach, I think in this case, I'm going to just use a wood filler, probably this walnut based that I have here, that I've had for a while, and just fill this void in while I'm also working on this outside edge piece that's got numerous holes and gaps in it as well. And then do some light sanding around that area as well. Try to minimize any distraction to the grain of the wood here on the top itself. A couple hours have passed. Go ahead and remove the clamp. And here's a better look at this outside piece I was talking about. Again, it appears that the veneer was laid on the back side. I'm going to just go ahead and fill this in with the wood filler, let that set up for about 24 hours, then come back and just hand sand it. Do the best I can to keep it looking good and fill in any voids here in the back as well. You can see this is glue, I think, in this area because it did not come off with the lacquer thinner. I may try to hit that one more time just to ensure that was the case. I'm going to just use my finger to go over the outside edge and again try to fill these voids. A few of the places are a little deep, probably take a couple applications with sanding in between. I'll bring you guys back later, show you my progress. Okay, that's about wrapped up here for the first application. I'll go back with a damp towel now and clean up all the extra that kind of spilled over the side here that will be on the front. And then let this dry for just a bit. It's water-based, so it's easy to clean up. And then I'll go back and try to fill in this back area as well. You can see the area that was a little deeper. A few applications, letting the wood filler set up for a number of hours or maybe even a day in between. Then I should be able to go back and smooth this out, somewhat hide that imperfection. One piece of veneer missing. I considered using the wood filler in this area, but I think I'll just make a small cut in some veneer and do a patch in that area, then try to blend it in as well with toner lacquers. The water-based filler makes it easy to work with. You can see I've got just a little bit of water over here. Apply just a little bit to the glove, and it's just easy to form and work with. This will probably take 3 or 4 or more applications to get the substrate up to the level I need to place a piece of veneer down where it's somewhat level. Let me go ahead and clean my mess up before this starts to dry. Going back over the front facing piece one more time. You can see I've got a thin piece of plastic as well. Just use that to level out the wood filler. Get it a little closer just to minimize the amount of sanding that will be necessary. Just on camera that this entire substrate piece needed to be replaced down here. But it appears that it was cut out that way at the factory. Kind of a rough job, but you can see the cutout in this area, so I think we'll be just fine. Again, there's still some more gluing on the bottom section that I need to do just to tighten it up just a bit more. Okay guys, that's it for now. I'm gonna let everything set up for about 24 hours. Again, just using some interior wood filler, a walnut based, and you can see I've built up the areas that were damaged. Some additional build-up will be required after doing some sanding, of course, in numerous locations. So that's about it for today. Got this area glued back together as well. And you can see some of the substrate breaking loose behind the grill cutout, so I'll need to do some work on that as well, just to make sure that's nice and stable before putting some new grill cloth in as well, which would be one of the last steps. Again, I'll bring you guys back in a day or two, and we'll take a look at the progress after doing some light sanding and some more fill-in work, and then I'll move over here to some of the veneer patch-up work as well. Look at the area that I filled in with the wood filler in this right corner. Still got to do some sanding over here on the left side to get the substrate flat, but I think this is a good base now. I took about 4 pieces of veneer, some thin veneer that I had, and I've glued it together. I'm just waiting on it to set up over here off to the side, and then I'll place it on here and then move over to the left side and repeat the process. I know it looks a little rough now, but I think I can blend it in pretty well. Again, I've got the new veneer just laying on the substrate, and it's just a little high, but I'll do some sanding to try to blend it in. And of course, I'll use some wood glue to attach the veneer, placing it on the substrate in the back side of the veneer itself that I've built up, and clamp it in place. A little wax paper over the top. I'll leave this clamped in place for probably a good hour or so. And again, move over here to the other side. And once the glue sets up for probably one day, I'll go back and do some sanding and filing and a little bit more filling as well around the area, and we'll be wrapped up on that section. I want to just do some hand sanding right here where this area is a little bit high. I'm just using my finger for now, then I'll clean it up a little bit more and flatten it out. I put just a little bit of glue down in this area where the two veneers meet, so I can take some of the veneer dust and kind of fill in some of the voids. You can see I'm getting a little bit closer now to my desired flushness there with the existing veneer. Here's the repair that I made. Still a little cleanup to do, but again, the 2 pieces, or 3 pieces I should say, of veneer on the lower section are going to be darker anyway, so any of these little flaws that are left behind will be pretty much transparent once I'm done. Still got to go over here and do some wood filler and recreate this edge piece. See if I can zoom in here. And then I'll go over here and repeat this same process for this side. Again, I didn't need to build up the substrate so much in this area, so probably just 1 or 2 pieces of veneer, and I'll repeat the same process. Just finished the repair on this right bottom corner. Created some fake grain lines in these bottom pieces just using a lead pencil. Probably won't even show up once the darker finish is applied to these three pieces here. I'll move over to the other side. Still got a little bit of tweaking to do here on this end piece. Once the wood filler cures for 24 hours, and I'll build it up probably one more time and sand it. And then we can go ahead and start moving along again after I finish this left corner to the substrate on the back of the grill area. You refocus the camera, you can see that's separated. Get that glued back in place. And then do a final sand, wipe down, and be ready to apply some finish to the cabinet. And wrapping up on the veneer repair at the top, I'll clip this off and sand it flush and use a little wood filler again around the perimeter there of the rim. I got the veneer patched up on both sides. Still got to do a little blending here on this repair. Stands out a little bit more than this one. But I just wrapped up, and again I'm trying to redo the corners as well with some wood filler. I'll let that set up for 24 hours, come back, do some more sanding, take care of a few other miscellaneous repairs, and we'll be ready to spray some toner lacquers. I wanted the grain to pop, so I used a dye-based toner Elm 100-0249, a perfect brown. I think that's a close match to what I saw underneath the dial excussion. And a few coats of semi-gloss clear lacquer after rubbing it out, just using some steel wool with some Wool-Lube. You look close enough, you can see the repairs that I made to the veneer, but no biggie. This radio's got plenty of character flaws in it. And you can see how I did the two-tone using the wood finish stain marker in this area, and around the area itself. No example to go by, I just thought it would make for a cool looking design. Back up here so you can see it better. And the top and side turned out really good as well. The perimeter looks better than it did. Still has some flaws in it, but you can see the veneer grain, it pops nicely. No grain filler was used, and I still have not painted the inside of the grill cloth area black. That's still to be done, as well as making a new backer board. I have decided on my grill cloth. I'll show it real quick. I already had this piece, and you can see it's a little darker in this area. I just sprayed some of the perfect brown on it to get the tint that I was looking for. Some more of a yellow goldish, more to a brown. So this will be the grill cloth of choice, running in a vertical orientation. So that's where I'm at right now, folks. I just wanted to share a quick update. Looks a lot better than my starting point for sure. I'll come back and provide an update once I get the grill cloth in place, the backer board, and get the dial excussion cleaned up and reinstalled. Thanks for watching.